I've come here to find out and learn a little about what investment is, how problems of investment are dealt with, and we've come to ask for a bit of information about how this sector works and how to get funding for our company. I've come here above all to acquire knowledge about techniques of funding and to make my business project known. And this information I believe to be vital. I want to be assessed and acquire security for later on. I'm here to find out about everything and later on to pull a few strings, and away we go. I've come here to learn and find out a bit more about what's going on. Well, because I'm an entrepreneur, because I've always been open to improving the company to try and consolidate it as quickly as possible. We've crossed the desert, we're still trying to cross the desert, but there's still some way to go. Basically to find out what tools there are or what there is that can help us get a business off the ground. Ready for Growth is an initiative that gives support to digital projects and companies through various actions, focusing particularly on getting funding and the growth of these companies. The two-year initiative finishes in December 2004, and by then more than 450 European companies will have participated. Barcelona Activa is the local development agency of the City Council of Barcelona, which will soon be celebrating its 20th anniversary. And in Barcelona Activa we have more than 100,000 users per year in the activities we do overall, and very especially the field of entrepreneurial activities, which we continue to back wholeheartedly. And we believe that the entrepreneurial spirit and initiatives of people from or who live in Barcelona and the businesses which are set up there are fundamental for the development of the city and for building its future and economic fabric. Barcelona Activa aims to promote quality and future-oriented businesses. With Ready for Growth, we have managed to get more than 100 digital content businesses from Barcelona together at the same table, sharing contents and networking for growth. The digital content sector is a key sector for the city of Barcelona, and Barcelona Activa is committed to the development of this sector. One of the problems this sector suffers from is the lack of access to private funding. Ready for Growth faces and addresses this problem, so that they can more easily gain access to venture capital companies and business angels. Ready for Growth helps participants to do so in a more professional way at a more worked level, and above all by knowing what the requirements of the private investors are, what they look for in the projects, what they are disposed to invest in, and what it means for entrepreneurs to have investors as partners in their companies. Ready for Growth has been promoted by various public and private European entities: the Local Development Agency of London, Greater London Enterprise, One London, the IVEN Incubator from Athens, and Barcelona Activa, the local development agency of the City Council of Barcelona, and counts on the co-funding of the e-content programme of the General Directorate for the Information Society of the European Commission. Barcelona Activa has therefore offered entrepreneurs from the digital sector from its area of influence three fundamental tools: an added value two-day intensive seminar, of which 4 editions have been held in the premises of the Business Incubator and the Forum Nord de Tecnologia of Barcelona Activa. 4 acceleration manuals for digital businesses, planning, development, sales and funding, which have been continually updated throughout the project, of which the definitive version has just been published. A virtual online knowledge centre with contents and applications of interest. Since the outset of the project, Barcelona Activa has counted on the permanent cooperation of the venture capital company Barcelona Empren, promoted by the City Council of Barcelona. There are lots of initiatives from 2, 3 or 4 entrepreneurs with a high level of technological knowledge, but that never quite end up by creating businesses that can compete in a wider setting. Therefore, there is a need to train these types of businesses to be able to work in such a complicated world as that of investors.
dell'inversor.
There are two things that are normally weaker within the business plans. One is to have an in-depth market research plan, and the other, from a venture capital point of view, which we see tends to be rather weak, is the question of human resources. I believe that the Ready for Growth program can help any entrepreneurs to improve these two aspects that are absolutely basic from a venture capital perspective for a business to work. Personally, when I started to be an entrepreneur, the only thing I did was to hit my head against walls, continually realizing things that I didn't know. If I had really had the chance to come to a seminar like this, I would have saved years of effort, many years learning by chipping away. And it's such a shame, silly even. I think the people who have come here are really lucky and are privileged because they're getting to know in a condensed way all those little rules, little parameters that help to get a business off the ground with greater ease. Other entities have also collaborated, such as the Barcelona Digital Foundation, the trampoline network of CIDEM, and the 65 experts who were the speakers in the seminars, all of them giving major practical knowledge in key topics. All the sessions were highly rated by the participants. The average was 8.3 out of 10. One of the most highlighted aspects by the participants was the fact of being able to deal directly with the investors and to be able to know about first-hand experiences by successful entrepreneurs, as well as networking between the participants. The overall impact is difficult to evaluate, given that the program hasn't finished yet, but 6 months after their participation in the seminars, the participants of the first two seminars stated that 45% had received new funding for their projects, which so far have been mostly in the form of loans and grants. However, more than 40% of the participants have made contact with venture capital entities or business angel networks. 60% of the participants have been motivated to making adjustments to their business plan, with 48% affecting the global strategy of the business itself. The acceleration manuals receive a very good rating by the participants, with 74% confirming their usefulness due to the fact that they consult them regularly. With regard to the synergies created, 74% of the participants have maintained professional contacts with some of the speakers, and 63% have established some form of professional collaboration with other participants to jointly do future projects together. The majority of the participants continue in contact with Barcelona Activa by means of the various programs. For the agency, it has also been a very satisfactory program, and it aims to continue to develop it in the future in other similarly strategic activity sectors for the city. What we have liked most has been the networking, getting to know people. I've come to the seminar in search of a clear idea of what the investors are looking for, and what investors there are with what turnover for each of them. In this sense, it's been very useful. Really, for the first time, we've found a seminar where real people talk, and not just those who are close but don't actually do it themselves, and where universities don't talk, but the people with money do. Therefore, in this sense, it really has been useful for us for a period within the next 3 months. Preparing the material well, we could present proposals to the investors.